On Wednesday's edition of The View, Joy Behar didn't hold back as she addressed the controversy surrounding Jimmy Kimmel's recent suspension and triumphant return to late-night television. Kimmel, who had been taken off the air for a week following remarks about conservative commentator Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin, returned to his ABC show on Tuesday evening. Behar, 82, opened the live broadcast by both celebrating his comeback and fiercely defending the role of comedians in society. She argued that those attacking Kimmel, including Donald Trump, were no different from autocrats and dictators like Vladimir Putin and leaders in Iran and Turkey, who historically have cracked down on humor and dissent. According to Behar, these so-called strong men are actually very weak men who simply cannot take a joke. Her comments set the tone for a passionate conversation among the panelists. Sarah Haynes commended Kimmel's opening monologue on his return, emphasizing that comedians play an essential role in holding governments accountable. She argued that humor allows people to challenge authority in a way that resonates widely, insisting that comedy must be an equal opportunity offender when it comes to those in power. Legal expert and co-host Sunny Hostin added weight to the discussion by noting that the pushback against Kimmel was fundamentally un-American. She stressed that freedom of speech is at the very core of American democracy, and silencing comedians undermines that principle. Alyssa Farah Griffin, the show's conservative voice and a former Trump administration official, acknowledged the importance of Kimmel's approach. She praised him for highlighting his faith and compassion, pointing specifically to his remarks about Erica Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, who publicly forgave her husband's alleged killer during his funeral. Griffin pointed out that even in heated political climates, moments of empathy and forgiveness still resonate with audiences across the spectrum. The discussion wrapped with moderator Whoopi Goldberg encouraging Americans to exercise their right to speak freely without fear of retribution. She reminded viewers that free expression is a birthright, not a partisan privilege. Goldberg emphasized that the principle applies equally to people across the political divide. If it goes for us on the left or middle, it also goes for you on the right, she said, making it clear that defending free speech is an American value, not a partisan one. Outside the View studio, the backlash and debates continued. After Disney, which owns ABC, reinstated Kimmel, Donald Trump blasted the network on his social platform. He dismissed Kimmel's return as a mistake, criticizing his ratings, comedic talent, and accusing him of pushing overwhelmingly pro-Democrat narratives. Trump wrote that ABC was putting itself in jeopardy by keeping him on the air. Kimmel's case isn't isolated. Both he and The View have increasingly become targets of political scrutiny. Federal Communications Commission Chair Brendan Carr even suggested earlier this summer that the show could face consequences for what he perceived as consistent liberal bias. That ongoing tension reflects a broader national debate over the role of media, satire, and political expression in American life. At its heart, Wednesday's discussion on The View was less about one late-night host and more about the bigger fight to preserve free expression. Whether you love or loathe comedians like Jimmy Kimmel, Behar and her co-hosts argued that the freedom to joke, criticize, and challenge authority is what separates America from authoritarian regimes. And while critics like Trump may continue to rail against figures in entertainment, the panel reminded viewers that comedy has always been one of the most powerful tools for truth-telling in a democracy.